You're working with a Katrina Kaif in Leke Prabhu Ka Naam. She's not a trained dancer. She doesn't come from a dance background. We've seen her evolution on screen as a dancer, but when you are working with her, what are your observations on how she approaches?
So I just want to quickly recap on the first part of the question you asked me, which is the generational shift, arc shift that has happened between the actresses in the yesteryears versus now. I see a lot of those actresses also, they trained in the form that was exposed to them in their generation. So if they came from, say, Chennai, there's a heavy influence of Bharatnatyam, Kuchipudi, all those classical art forms, and whatever's available, whatever resources, whatever art form is available to them at that particular moment and that region. Whether it's from Bengal cinema, if you see those beautiful Uday Shankar ballet forms, art forms. So you saw that delicateness of how they used to kind of also articulate their forms. Now coming back to a shift in the story of this country itself, if you see how modernization influx in the 90s, how the influence of globalization kind of came into it, that influence brought in a lot of exposure of the West to our country as well, and a healthy exchange of both the Indian and Western culture. It also brought in an open spectrum for artists from all walks of life. So when Katrina left the country where she came from and wanted to pursue a dream and harbor a dream of becoming an actress here, you can only imagine what she may have had to go through in her journey, because she was not born here. She was not exposed to Hindi. She was not exposed to the Indian art form, dancing or singing, whatever, her craft. So her journey is very different to a journey vis-a-vis an actor of today's generation who's from here. So you must give credit to her and her alone to have recognized that, to have understood her shortcomings, to have understood and overcome her lack of knowledge on maybe cinema, the language barrier, the craft, the cinema, the films, and to make that her own and to embrace the culture so beautifully today. Like you see her in saris today with her sindoor and her Mangal Sutra. I feel lovely to see that. So that is her shift of arc. I know of Padmini ji, who was culturally brought up here, but then she went to the US and settled there. So look at the shift, like every person's journey and arc. I feel each one has their own narrative, their own understanding and journey into cinema, into any art form and craft. And for me to sum it up in a general compartment, or like to say it, I can say a broader spectrum to it, but I can't label each individual to the other individual or compare that person to the other person. Right. That's little unfair. Like what Madhuri ji's journey would have been versus what Sri ji's journey would have been. They're two different journeys, but they're both loved. Yes. And I guess that's the name of the game.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.